Yes, and we live. Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James, where I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. Yeah, I'm so sorry it is not going to happen this video, but that's all right. We'll live to fight another day. But joining me as always is my co-host, Mrs. Beth. Y'all say what's up to her.
Hello, mates. I'm gonna do my best to behave um at the mouth. I'm gonna do my best, but I hope that everyone likes the video, subscribes, and happy Monday.
Yes, happy Monday, you guys. I'm hoping everyone had a well-rounded Monday. But make sure, in light of that well-rounded Monday, that you come around to subscribing to Mrs. Best's channel. Any reviews or recaps that I don't cover on my channel, it's because we cover on her channel. We have all the great ones like Love and Hip Hop, both Atlanta and Miami, on Mrs. Best's channel. And also we have Real Housewives of Beverly Hills on her channel as well. And then coming up for her is going to be Real Housewives of Miami and also The Valley, which I also will be joining her on those reviews as well. I'm excited about it, but at the same time, kind of nervous because one of the shows I don't coagulate well with. So we're going to see how that turns out. While you're subscribing to us, please also pay our girl Shana underscore MCD a little visit by subscribing to both of her channels. I have them here as well as in my description box. She has two channels. She has her current channel, which she is trying to get remonetized, as she and I talked, and also the new channel that she's also trying to get monetized as well. She is well within deserving of both channels being monetized and also being fruitful for lovely income that YouTube has to offer. So make sure that you subscribe to her channel and make sure you tell her that James sent you. Thank you guys so much. Hey, Shani, thank you for being here on time, or actually early than we were here. And also, JJ is up there somewhere. Sorry, JJ, I was going to go up to your comment, but we got way up there now. So, but we still love you nonetheless. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you so much. So, yeah, this was Married to Medicine, and as I was telling Mrs. Best, I told her in text message, and I'm telling her before we got live, this episode confused the hell out of me. I don't know where to go with this. I don't know what to say about this. I'm like, what just happened? And this is the season finale. This was supposed to be explosive. This was supposed to be the damn, they went out with a banger. This actually left me more confused than when I started episode one. I don't know what to do, y'all. So I'm just going to go over my notes. We're going to talk about it, and hopefully we'll be able to make sense of this. Mrs. Best, are you on board with that?
I'm gonna do my best to watch my mouth.
You ain't got to watch your mouth. I already dropped an F-bomb. You're good.
Okay.
All right. So the episode opens up with Toya. Toya is throwing her 16th wedding anniversary with a Bridgerton theme that she is calling Georgiaton. She is having a $25,000 budget, which I think is extremely high, but you know, it is what it is. That's Toya's money, not mine. Um, and she is excited about all of that. She's hoping that with this party, she can get her friends to come together. Because what she knows is that T and Dr. Gregory are on the outs with everyone based on what has happened between him and King and also Quad. So she is hoping that she is getting them all on one accord. But what we've come to realize is that it's not going to go over that way because of the legal order. So what she's going to have them do, and she's talked it over with Letitia, she's going to have them join for about an hour, and then they have to leave by 9 o'clock for when Quad and King get there. I felt like to some extent that was unfair because why have them there for only an hour? I don't think that that was right. But who am I? You know, it's not my party. It's Toya and Eugene's party. So in terms of that, we see a scene with T and Gregory, and they're talking. And Dr. Gregory says that he feels betrayed by the men on this show and them not really having his back because he's been here longer than King has. Um, I feel like for me, I understand what he is saying, but at the same time, we're not gonna act like you didn't have a part in that energy exchange between you and King. Like I get what he was saying, but at the same time, you played a part in that too. And then at the end of the day, you were the one who filed the charges. So we wouldn't be in this predicament had you not did what you did. You were not touched. You were not threatened. You were in a controlled space. I get the man was asking a lot, but at the end of the day, he was only protecting the right of his woman. Any man would do so. So I just feel like, including you, when it came to Letitia. So I feel like for me, I do think that he went overboard. Mrs. Best, how do you feel?
Um, Well, Dr. G is he a little bit of a bitch to me. No one touched you, like you said. And I do feel like King kind of overreacted because I'm sure Quad has explained to him how Dr. G is and how much of a sucker he probably is. So I do think that King overreacted a little bit, but not everybody is going to behave the way that a doctor would behave. So you can't just go waving your hands up talking about somebody's, partner, whether you were with that person or not. So I don't know. It's all very strange. I don't get why he wants to be a part of this group so much.
To me, I felt like he knows what this check could be. If, Sweet Tea stays on the show long enough, he knows what the check could potentially be for her, and also added income. So I think a part of that, especially if the rumors are true about her using her VA loan to pay off the house or whatever it is that she did, if those alleged rumors are true, I can understand him wanting to have her secure this check. And it's also come out, I think someone told me last week in one of these reviews that he doesn't practice anymore. So I just feel like, yeah, I think that it's a way for them to secure, a check for the maybe time. Because she looked like somebody that would pay all the bills. She do if he lost his job, which you're supposed to. You're married. You're supposed to. It's for better or for worse. So yeah, if you can't do it, I need to do it, and if I can't do it, then you need to do it. It definitely does give that. So I can see that. Hi, Coach Chanel. Thank you for being here. It's giving. It's not giving access to the money. No, it's not. Or it's not giving. Or it's giving. He doesn't have what he said he had when they met, or what she may have thought he had when they met. That's what it's giving. Because to me, I couldn't have somebody playing in my face like this. And what I mean is the show and the other cast members making it seem like I'm the only party at fault here. It couldn't be me. Because I would feel like I wouldn't need this. But different shows for different folks. That's how I feel. So is there anything you want to add, Mrs. Best? Because I'm gonna move on.
No, sir.
Okay. So it actually comes to the point where everyone's getting ready for Toya's event. Toya was cracking me up because she really thought Bridgerton was about black folks and that time frame of Bridgerton modern day. And I'm looking at Toya like,
Doesn't she have a teaching degree?
yeah,
So I think this is Toya putting on for the camera.
you
If she
think
put
so,
this amount of effort into putting her resume onto Indeed, so much could get done. But
Mrs.
instead, she's spending $25,000 on a party when they moving from house to house the way that I change draws. I cannot with Toya.
Hi, Shana. Thank you for being here. I'm not looking forward to watching this finale, girl. When I tell you it confused the hell out of me, I'm going so slow right now because I don't want to miss something in my notes. But at the same time, I'm like, what the hell just happened? Good luck. I can't wait to watch your review later when I get to work. There's a prominent black people in England in the Victoria age, maybe like one or two. I believe that, but I don't believe they were that prominent, is what I was saying. I don't believe they were like what Toya was explaining. I think there was kind of that stigma of like, we were still in those times, probably not discovered as slaves yet, is what I was saying. But yeah. But I'm gonna move on from there. We had a scene with Contessa and Scott getting ready. Scott is slithering on the floor with this wig, and I was so confused because he had this wig on the entire night, and I'm just like,
The way he upset the damn dog.
right, that's me. Why do you have that on? What was that for? Scott, come on. Like, first off, they didn't wear black wigs back in that time. They wore white little curly flower wigs. I mean, you could have Googled this. Um, I thought Contessa and Scott looked nice though with their outfits. Not so much the hair, but the outfits. But people are starting to arrive to, Toya's event and everything. Um, Simone looks, as I said, quinceañera. That is exactly that kind of dress. Absolutely.
Like a beaver and a quinceanera dress. Just stressful. Okay, I'll be good. I'll be
I'm
good.
not doing it because I know what scene you're talking about. Mrs. Best, you not right.
I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna behave. I'm gonna be good.
Oh God. Okay. So the color was it was like, see, you know what? I'm gonna be fair. I would have much rather Simone wear that dress to the reunion than the dress she wore to the reunion. I would have much rather her pull off that look. That would have been Simone's reunion look where I probably wouldn't have given her the bad, review that I gave her. If y'all have not seen that video, go ahead and watch it. I gave a recap of my Married to Medicine reunion best and worst looks. So go ahead and do that. When Toya and Eugene show up, I didn't know what Toya had on. That wig looked heavy as hell, and it kept sliding back off of her head. I felt like it was gonna fly off at one point. But Toya walks into the party and she said, "Everybody looks so nice and everybody looked good." Anila looked nice. I will say that. I looked at Anila because I didn't recognize her at first. I was like, "Oh, whoever that is pretty." And I said, "Oh, that's Anila." Anila did something to her. I don't know what she did, but she did something. She got something done. But Anila and Karen there, and everyone's starting to make their rounds. Scott and Contessa, Dr. Jackie and Curtis, and as they're all getting there, um, everyone asks, "Is T and Gregory coming?" She goes, "I hope so." And then, sure enough, here come T and Gregory coming aboard, and they're coming up. They looked okay. He looked like someone said George Washington. I said more like Ben Franklin, but that's okay. Different stroke, different president. We got you. And she thanks T. Toya thanks T for coming, and as they are all crowding around, they're given this pamphlet. Um, they better not bring Anila back. I feel like they're segueing her to be a friend of the show. I do. I feel like if Sweet Tea doesn't come back next season, Anila's gonna take her place.
I feel like the production knows that, especially with that whole ordeal with Dr. G trying to bring law enforcement into it. If he did that once, he could do it again. And what people don't realize is that also impacts production and their ability to put out the show. So I feel like that's why they're showing Anila and her husband. And they actually love her husband in the group. He maintained a friendship on and off camera with all of the men in the group. And Anila has maintained some friendships also. But I don't want her on the show. I'll take Kieran. I don't want Anila.
I hope they winning. I would love for Anila to come back. Okay, okay. Dr. Daddy looked like.
Not the Undertaker.
I really like her husband as well. I love Kieran. I did. He was my favorite. Like I would keep him because he reminds me of somebody I went to high school with. So he reminds me of somebody.
Ooh,
He wasn't in your year. He was in my year.
damn it.
Yeah, he wasn't in your year. You wouldn't know him. He
Damn.
wasn't even all that popular too. He was just funny like that.
He's not funny like that. Yeah, they probably are. No, this guy winning is right. They probably are. But the thing is, Anila is married to medicine. And we don't have a plastic surgeon in the group. And her husband provides that. And they're also people of color. Not she'll take Tiffany.
Wait a minute. I just froze.
Why?
I just froze.
Shayna.
Dana, not you saying this. Wait a minute.
Oh,
Not you
Lord.
saying this. You don't realize what you just did. Y'all subscribe to my girl Shana underscore MCD. This is who I'm talking about. The beginning of my opening, and this is my girl. She just, indulged me for points like, even though she don't mean it like that. I know she don't, but oh my gosh, you don't know how excited I was when I saw that comment. Oh, I don't even care about this damn episode no more. Bring Tiffany back to Love and Marriage Huntsville. No,
Oh, my God.
we don't need another token. Let's keep it black.
That would actually be nice. I see nothing wrong with that either.
Anila actually showed us a lot about her culture. We need diversity on the show. She did it, but it was to some extent distasteful too.
It was. It
Yeah,
definitely
it
was.
wasn't all great. Like it wasn't. I wish there was some element that she would have pulled back on.
Hmm.
I don't remember how Tiff. I don't remember Tiffany when was she? Love and Marriage Huntsville. So she wasn't on Married to Medicine. She was on Love and Marriage Huntsville a couple seasons ago. But let's move on. So they're reading this pamphlet. I'm not gonna go over word for word because it was stupid. But as they're reading it, they're looking around and they're like, "Well, who wrote this?" And then no one really confirms who wrote it. We don't know if Sweet Tea wrote it. We don't know if Toya wrote it. We don't know who wrote it, but we know it was messy. It really was, and it was kind of funny. And so Toya just smiling, just like y'all like it. It is. Dr. Jackie said Toya, and she rips it. She go, "This is trash." I said, "No, what? It was kind of funny, Dr. Jackie. Stop hating." I enjoyed it, but I'm totally blackly back. Yeah, we know. Yep, we know a bitch they with it. We got you though. They should cancel Love and Marriage. I didn't say that. I need content for my show, bitch. They went otherwise. You're gonna be up here with me on Sunday evenings. So make sure your Sunday free if they cancel that show. I don't know what we're gonna talk about, but we're gonna talk about something. So y'all heard it here now. If they cancel Love and Marriage Huntsville, a bitch they went and gonna join me for an hour on YouTube live, and I don't know what the hell we gonna be talking about, but we gonna talk about it. I'm just saying. So just be ready. I'm just saying, just be ready if they cancel that show on me. Because I need the content, y'all. I don't have any more shows. After Married to Medicine goes off, I only have Love and I only have Real Housewives of Atlanta. That's all I have left.
There's some shows I think you could cover that you would do well at. I'm gonna send them to you. You
And
got any apps?
no, girl, I'm busy. What the hell? I ain't got no time for that.
Oh hell.
Carlos ain't canceling his bread and butter no matter how tired it is. That's true. You
Damn.
always have a hot topic, James. I do, but y'all, that takes a lot of energy. This don't take a lot of energy. That takes a lot of energy to research that shit and create slides and stuff. I am busy. I
I
am
be
in my
telling him a
chapter.
bitch stay winning. I be telling James all the time, you should do more updates. You're really good at the hot topics. Like he's so good at it. But he
I
really
work
do
night.
be
I work the night
busy as
shift.
hell.
I am too busy, y'all. I won't be busy after July. I won't be busy. My life will slow down a lot.
Yes, James, cover Beauty in Black. I did talk to Shana about that. You need to cover it.
Why was I not included in this group chat? Like, really?
I need you to cover it. You would
Send it
do
to me because I
great.
don't know what it is. Send it to me.
Okay, I'm gonna send it. Not I don't know what it is. You
I
gonna
don't
be
know.
like, what the F?
I don't know what it is. So send it to me. But moving on from there. So after that, they're going through the party. The men pull Dr. G aside and they're telling him, have you thought about, potentially dropping the charges against King because, we really like him and, he'll be here soon and we hope to get all the men together. And Dr. Gregory's like, I can't believe these men, like, even though he feels like he should drop the charges and he said it himself in his lunch with T, but he kind of feels like the men should really rally and support him and he doesn't feel like that. And so he's thinking maybe this may be their time to take a break from the show because he doesn't feel supported. And it actually comes about that time. So Contessa actually pulls T aside and asks T, she goes, okay, well, I know you gotta leave, but you sure you want to leave? Like, Quad will be here any minute. You sure you don't just want to stay? Like, what do you want to do? And I'm looking at Contessa like, Contessa just gonna continue to work my nerves this whole entire season. She just works my nerves this entire season. Though I understand her, you should be mature enough to stand on one side of a corner while whoever you don't fuck with stay on the other side of the corner. However, when there are legal charges here, that throws that logic out the window, Contessa. That throws the logic out of that whole scenario. So, and in actuality, with form, what I heard Toya actually disinvited the Lunsford from the party. Production made her invite them for the first hour. I heard that too. I heard that they weren't even supposed to be there.
She
So
made it very clear that she was going to side with Quad in multiple episodes. So I don't think she would have invited them, but production probably feels a sense of responsibility. And if Greg will run to police, who's to say he won't run to an attorney and find a reason to BS and waste people's time in court? So I
But see,
can't
but here's
stand the
my thing.
Lunsfords.
Yeah, I can't stand. I don't. It's not that I can't stand them. It's just that I don't think this was the best move for them to do. Is to come on the show knowing that people are going to be biased because of Quad, knowing that the people have a stronger solidarity than Quad than they would Letitia. So I just feel like for me, I didn't want them on the show for that reason. I didn't think that it wasn't that they were entertaining or they don't deserve to be here, even though it is kind of questionable on why they would want to be here. But I just feel like because of the allegiance to Quad, I felt like I didn't want to see that. I just didn't. But we're seeing it in today's time. So they leave, and like Shandy said, they didn't even get a plate of food to go, even though I really didn't see the food choices. Um, I like them. I think Sweet Tea really loves Greg. I think Greg is trying to still find himself at 60. I agree with your comment 100%. I do think she really loves Greg because I think there's some daddy issues there. And I do think that he's still trying to find himself at 60. I really do. But I agree with that as well. I think what it is, and let me kind of expand on that a little bit. I think that there's a part of him that put himself through so much school and education that there's a part of him that missed out on life and enjoying life. I went through that myself, and I'm not even that old. I went through that myself where I felt like I didn't enjoy my 20s as much as I should because I was always working. I worked, three jobs at one time in my 20s. It was from 21 to 24. I worked three jobs just because I was so scared of being homeless. So I made sure that I always kept a check coming in my home, regardless of how tired I was, regardless if I feel like I was going to miss out on friends going here, friends going there. And my friends did. My friends traveled. My friends did everything. And I'm like, y'all, sorry, I got to work. And then when I finally like, okay, y'all, I'm ready to travel. Now my friends are getting married and having babies. And I didn't want to be that 30-year-old that hung out with 21-year-olds that were just traveling because then I thought I was too old and we wouldn't have much in common. So I kind of feel like he's doing that. To make a long story short, I kind of feel like he's going through that phase of his life where he realistically didn't have as much fun. And probably with Quad, when he was married to her, they couldn't really have fun either because she was so theatrical that maybe it just wasn't a fun situation.
Yep, I'm with you
Hmm.
on that.
I think they're divorcing. I do too, but I don't think it's because of something she did. I think it'll be something he did. I also think that
Yeah,
Greg was really hurt that the men didn't rally behind him. They were real friends.
I agree with that.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I think that in another situation, what he has to realize is they've done this before. And this is what I don't get about him. When someone shows you who they are, you believe them. They have done this to him before. When it came to the situation where they had to choose between him and Quad to continue on the show, they all chose Quad. So they've done this before. You're just falling for it again. So shame on you for falling for it again because they pretty much iced him out over Quad. Because it could have been Dr. Greg on the show and whoever else he wanted to bring on. But they chose Quad. So there you have it. So I don't feel bad for him for that. I really don't. Exactly. I understand, James. I got married at 18. I had four babies by the time I was 21. Been a wife and mother all my life. Now I'm a hot girl. That's right. I know.
Right. You earn that
You
shit
are
and
that.
enjoy it.
Absolutely. Enjoy every bit of it. I'm
Absolutely.
I enjoyed my first half of my 30s. Now I'm in my mid 30s and now I'm settling down. And I'm happy with who I'm settling down with. So it's just, life is funny that way. Of course they chose Quad. He wasn't a cast member. He wasn't, but he was still the glue of the Married to Medicine. So I think that that's what like people could, like a lot of people saying Quad's not married to medicine, even though I say she is, because the key point is married, past tense. That's what the name of the show was called. She was married to medicine. So yeah, y'all can argue with me all day long on that, but that's past tense. Actually, they chose Greg's side. They were still hanging out with Greg. They didn't believe Quad. Remember?
That is a good point because I think that that's so important and people rarely speak about that. They did choose Greg's side. Quad was left to be on the show because of, I think, your point, James. She was married to medicine to some capacity at some point. But Greg was still hanging out and good friends with all the men, which is, if we pay attention, that was spoken about in the seasons that happened after the divorce. Quad had an issue with the fact that a lot of the women would act away with her, were still hanging out with Greg because of their husbands, and then that started to cause division, and she went and bonded closely with the sister circle. So it's a little bit of both, I think. But regardless, the history of this cast and how they've handled people's divorces and new marriages and things like that, they gonna keep running people off. They need to get it together. They shouldn't have that much power.
So my opinion on this is I think this was true when Mariah was still on the show. When Mariah was still on the show, yes, this was 100% true. When she left the show, I think there was still some camaraderie they still had with Quad that probably, and I think it was more so Heavenly that did it than the other ladies. I think she was trying to work on these relationships, but still, when I say they, I'm saying production still chose Quad over Gregory. So I feel like for me, once Mariah was off the show, I feel like that's what made that point more valid that they still chose Quad because they still wanted her for the show. Even when she wasn't a full time cast member, they still, in some way, found a way for her to get back on the show. So that's why I'm saying that. I'm not saying the men, I'm saying the production. So I'm sorry I misspoke. But I feel like it was more so once Mariah left, that's what made me see more in solidarity that the women were putting their egos aside to still be here with Quad. That's how I feel. Eugene said they're not friends. These people are castmates. They don't hang out in real life. They always do what's best for the show. Greg and Sweet Tea are good as gone. Um, Contestant said that Scott and Greg hung out after the show. The contestant was off the show anyway. So I feel like that's the only person who confirmed that they had a friendship. But everybody else kind of moved along. But yeah, I
Scott
will
and
agree.
Greg hanging out together off of the show is not surprising. They are both narcissists.
I don't think I want Quad on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't. I just don't. I know because she's friends with Portia. You know, her, Portia, and Yandy go off to Africa every other 3 months. But I'm just saying, I don't think I want Quad on Real Housewives. I think she's fine where she is. I just can't see her on that show because then the theatrics will have to turn up, and I just can't handle. I only can take Quad in doses. I only can take Quad in doses. I can't take her fully on that show. I just can't. Mariah
I
was
think she
mad.
would do better on Housewives of Atlanta also, though.
But see, but to me, I feel like that's like bringing Phaedra back on the Married to Medicine. I don't feel like she's a good fit here. The same way I don't feel like
Mm.
Quad would be a good fit on Housewives of Atlanta. I just don't.
Mm.
Yeah.
She ain't gonna last much longer on this show, child.
I don't know. I feel like one of the doctors are going to leave the show before she would. Yeah, I think one of the doctors may leave the show before she would, or get fired from the show before she would. Mariah was mad and said that Quad slept with her brother-in-law. I do remember that. I don't believe it, but I do remember that. And Quad told that big lie that Mariah did Coca-Cola. Um,
That's not a big lie.
I was gonna say that I don't believe that was a big lie. I believe that was semantics. I don't know if I 100% believed Quad because that's a big accusation to put out about somebody. But because of it being Atlanta, that wasn't that hard for me to believe. That wasn't that hard for me to believe at all. Um, the brother-in-law thing was hard for me to believe because I wouldn't be in Quad's face, be in her wedding, and do all that stuff with her if I knew that that happened. There's no way. There's no way. So yeah, I don't want her. Yeah, yeah. No more. Yeah, yeah. I don't want her. I want her to stay where she is. Phaedra is a good fit anywhere. Quad is actually friends with the HRA girls, and most of them are divorced now. To me, I feel like the reason why Quad isn't a good fit is because they're not going to let her have the spotlight the same way these other ladies do here on this show, and that's going to be a big problem. So it may make for a good fight. I don't know, but I just don't see her on that show. I just don't see it. I would love an exchange ex-wife show. We had that. Remember, what was it? Hollywood exes, Atlanta exes. They weren't talking about nothing. I don't, and that's when I knew I didn't like Tamika Foster. Now I love her. It's amazing what one little reality TV show can do. Because I couldn't stand her on that show, but I loved her on the show she did with Malaysia. I forgot. I recapped it on my channel. I forgot what it was called. Bold and Bougie. Tamika ended up being my favorite, and I couldn't stand her for years. You're right. It's not hard to believe. The brother-in-law thing would have been hard to believe either. For me, since Quad was trying to come up. Yeah, she was trying to come up. I ain't gonna lie. Quad needs attention. For yes, she does. That's why I don't see her on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Why is it a little more ghetto than the other girl? Hmm. Who said ghetto? We had a couple of XY shows, but not on Bravo. I don't think Bravo will be good with it. I just don't. Exactly. I never liked Tamika when she was cut and dry on Bold and Bougie. She was. I liked her on Bold and Bougie. I did. She was my favorite. I think it's because everyone was trying to make her out to be a monster, and I just didn't see it that way. But y'all, we getting off course here. I went down the rabbit hole too long. Let me end the show. So, where was I? They was reading a little pamphlet. Mrs. Best, who do you think wrote that pamphlet?
I plead the fifth. It had to have been Toya.
I think it was Toya too. And I think Sweet Tea just took the blame for it. So it's time for them to go. And Contessa is pressuring T to stay. But Toya and Simone walk up to her and was like, no, she got to go. Quad finna be here. Heavenly finna get here. And then Toya said, y'all started this. So y'all, this is the consequence of it. And once again, I feel like if production really was behind Sweet Tea and Gregory leaving and showing up like this, that's very wrong of them to do because I kind of felt like they shouldn't even have Kane. But I know they have to do the obligation of filming for the show. So I totally get it from a business standpoint, but that is kind of messed up. So they ushered them off, and in comes Heavenly and Damon and Quad and King. And once they get there and everything, a few things happen. One, there was a very cute moment between Heavenly and Contessa. And I tell y'all this all the time. These two were my favorite friendship in this entire group, Heavenly and Contessa, when they were friends. They were my favorite friendship. And they always do this to me. They always act like everything is normal between them two. Because in real life, Contessa will be fixing Heavenly's crown and making sure she looked good before she walked out there. So this made me mad to see this. It really did. So that was the first thing. The second thing was, the guys going around and they're talking about, King and Gregory and how he was there and if they can get together and, have a little moment of, maybe putting this behind them and everything. King said he never had an issue and that it was all Greg. That's 50% true. It was part of you too. I wanted him to kind of own and say maybe I should not have charged at him out of my own anger, and I didn't want to see y'all see me like that because that's not who I am. I probably would have wanted him to speak more into that versus him putting it all on Dr. Gregory. Mrs. Best, how do you feel about that?
He put it all on Dr. Gregory because Dr. Gregory's ex-wife made him put it all on Dr. Gregory. I do think that King needs to take responsibility for charging at that man. He could have called some of the other dudes over for help. It showed that he's not as calm as he tries to play himself off to be. But I don't know. These people, I'm still tripping off the fact of how Sweet Tea wanted to stay and her husband was okay to go at this event.
I don't know. It was weird, but um, as I said, I'm 50-50 with this. I don't think King started that. I don't. I don't think he started it. I think he was more the aggressor in the situation. I think that what probably provoked him is when Dr. Gregory stood up out that chair and charged over to him.
But I think Dr. Gregory knew what he was doing when he stood up on the chair and
Mhm.
walked up on him doing all of that. Because he did not touch him. And I also think this man is trained in human behavior. He knows how to make certain people tick. He's probably paying attention. So I do feel like Dr. G knew that that would get this guy King to a point where he would snap. And it worked. So they're both wrong. But King fell for the bait and was just defending his woman. So I can't really fault him for that. And
Right.
Dr. G would have given this man a hard time. Had this never happened, Dr. G would have been talking about this man and Quad up and down filthily, season after season. We would have been tired of it. So in some ways, King charging at Dr. G, I bet you Dr. G would never fuck with him again. The way he moonwalked in the sand, as my good twin said, afraid of that man attacking him. Uh-uh. So I can't. But they both were wrong to a certain extent. And I
Hmm.
wish they'd just say that and move on.
Me too. I kind of feel like y'all just need to say y'all both are wrong. No, he doesn't. I don't think he owes Quad an apology per se, because Quad was drunk and doing the most. I do agree with that. But I
Right.
also felt like at the same time, that's not something you gloat about either. I think that that's where I had the problem with Dr. Gregory in that instance. I feel like you didn't need to gloat to that man and say, yeah, I told her to shut the fuck up because she was talking too much. You didn't need to say that.
I also agree with the bitch state winnings comment. I was kind of confused why King even came back to discuss it the following day when they had already supposedly squashed it. So why bring it up again?
I said that in my video. I said,
That's
King, I don't know why you would pick this opportune moment. You should have addressed that when he said it versus waiting till everybody was in their own catastrophes for you to then come to this man and confront him about it. That's where I felt he was wrong.
and to expect him to apologize to Quad is stupid. Quad already has trauma and don't want to deal with the man and has to film with him. So let it go. You know that man's not going to want to apologize to her if you know what he's put her through. You should
Mm-hmm.
know that. And you not going to change that. So it's at this point the situation is stupid and Bravo need to choose a couple cuz I can't.
Yeah, Bravo, choose a couple. But choose the right couple. Don't choose the couple that you feel like is going to get you, which I know they're going to do, is going to get y'all the ratings and the viewers. Don't do that. Pick what you know is right. But anywho, y'all, we're gonna move on. So they then introduce the couples to do the dance, and so they're introducing each couple. Heavenly ass couldn't even make it down the damn stairs because she that dress was too long. And everybody was laughing at her because she over there saying, "Who put these goddamn steps here?" Just a hood rat mess. I'll tell you that damn Heavenly. You could give a doctorate degree to somebody, but you can't take the ignorance from them. Because why would you do that in front of them? Anyways, y'all, so they do the little dance. Everybody is off. No one is following the routine that they learned. It was it was cute. It was, it was something different that we don't get to see very often. So I actually could appreciate it. And then the last thing we're gonna talk about is the ladies then mingle in the circle. Um, she is very ignorant. I can't stand. You know what? Here's the thing with Dr. Heavenly. I love Dr. Heavenly. I do because I understand her. I understand her to the extent that I know why the show is keeping her. I understand why she's playing the antagonist that she's playing. Because if we were to tell the truth, without Heavenly, is there a Married to Medicine?
There's not. That's the truth though.
Yes. Who else is going to bring the semantics and the drama? They need somebody like Heavenly. The show will not last. Dr. Jackie, we ain't seen shit about Dr. Jackie's life this entire season. All we see from Dr. Simone is them spoiled ass boys.
Which I'm tired of seeing.
Yes. We see Toya moving and building homes every season.
Same shit. We
Same shit.
tired.
We've seen Quad be theatrical and crying over spilt milk
Season after
after
season.
season. We've seen Sweet Tea trying to live out of the shadows of her husband's ex-wife, but is failing miserably because she falls into traps that put her in there.
A rogue fan with a severe underbite and daddy issues that forced her to marry a man that's older
Mhm.
than her very father. All these people,
And then
they
Phaedra was
definitely
a complete flop.
useless.
Complete flop. So what else is there? What else is there?
I think to help this show, I definitely feel like Simone needs to go. I also personally, Simone definitely needs to go. I feel like Jackie needs to go.
Mm-hmm. I said this
And
for
if
longer.
they go, keep Toya, keep Quad, get rid of Heavenly Either. They can do something to switch up the
I don't
cast
see
and
this
still
ever
keep the
getting rid of
mess.
Heavenly. I don't see that ever happen. They can do
Well,
a whole
without
reboot.
Dr. Jackie and Simone and Contessa, there's nobody that really, even in terms of age range, can
They
compete
can
with
keep
Heavenly.
Contessa. They can keep Contessa. I don't mind Contessa being on the show. I just want Contessa to stop being full of shit. If Contessa could figure out a way to stop being full of shit,
She's not
Contessa
gonna
can do it.
do that while she's with Scott, especially if he's hanging out with Greg. Absolutely not.
Well, okay, yeah, and that's a valid point. But what I'm saying is, I would not actually mind the show if they got rid of Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie and let it be Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Contessa. Dr. Contessa can bring on that other friend that she had on the Married to Medicine LA season. She can bring that friend on here. And you know who else I would mind having back on the show? Because I don't feel like she got a fair chance is Dr. Alicia. I don't feel like they gave her a fair chance. I just
I
think
don't feel like she needs. I feel like Alicia can stay where she's at.
okay, fine, fine, fine. We're gonna do these comments, and I gotta hurry and get off this channel. So let me hurry up. But I don't want to always see drama. Drama is not entertaining to people with class and dignity. I think we think like that a bit, stay winning because we're grown and adults and we are professional at the end of the day. But drama is what sells, and drama is what pushes the narrative further all the time on these shows. They don't want a show where they see a bunch of professionals, you know, just going to work every day and not talking about anything that is not severely dramatic. So, although that would be very nice, it's not possible on reality TV, unfortunately. They would have to change the whole trajectory of reality TV in order for that to be possible. And I don't see that happening because it's working right now. Reboot, let's get new doctors, younger, fresher, instead of the old doctors acting young. I agree.
I think that's
Um,
what the problem is and why people are so annoyed with this show right now. These people too old to act like this, regardless of if they doctors or not. They are just too old to be acting this way.
I love seeing Dr. Contessa and Dr. Scott kiss at the party.
With a sprinkle of gaslighting and unresolved trauma.
Right. Because I'm going to keep it real with you a bit, stay winning. I love you to death. But I'm going to say this on my channel, and I'm going to say it because I've been saying it for a long time, even before I even had a channel. And this is allegedly because I don't need Contessa coming after me because you know she will. I don't believe Contessa is straight. I don't. I've never, since the moment I laid my eyes on her, I did not believe she was straight. I think she's caught up, and I think that she's married with children now, so she can't show it. And I thought the same thing about Dr. Britton when I saw her on Married to Medicine LA. I didn't believe she was straight either. I don't believe Dr. Contessa is straight. I don't believe she's into Scott. I believe that once them kids is grown, she gonna be gone. That is my honest opinion of Dr. Contessa. Love her to death. I do, and I wish she would lean into being real. But because this is where she is, this is what I have to believe. So, and it's alleged. That's just my opinion, and that's just what I'm seeing based on her. So that's all. I don't think it just needs a wrap. There's really nowhere else to go with this show.
They
Truly.
allowed, I think, they allowed Heavenly to do too much on the internet in terms of Bravo and production. I've always felt like that was a problem with this show, and it also influenced and encouraged other people on other shows to be talking about their drama that we see on TV, off the TV, which we don't need. That causes a major problem.
A bitch
Uh,
stay winning. A bitch stay winning. Now, I done told you. I'm gonna tell you again. If a network cancels another reality TV show that I cover on my channel, that means that you're gonna be on my channel now twice. If Carlos cancels Love and Marriage Huntsville, which I know he not because they're filming right now, and if they cancel Married to Medicine, keep your Sunday nights free because your ass is gonna be up here with me. I don't know what the hell we're gonna talk about. I don't know what the hell this is gonna be, but I cannot afford for another show that I recap to cancel. So please stop putting that out there in the atmosphere unless you really want to be up here with me on because I'm gonna send you the information and I'm gonna send you a link. And when you don't show up here at 5 o'clock on the dot, what I do, Mrs. Best, I call.
he does call.
I call
He be
right
on my
here
ass.
on time. Yes. So you can play with me if you want to. This thing when I done told y'all, and y'all my witnesses. Who's still in this chat? Bap, you still here? I don't know if Shana's still here. Who else is up in here? Shana, you still in here, ain't you? Now y'all heard me say this. A biz they went and said if they go ahead, they need to cancel this show along with Bap. Bap's gonna be up in here too, because Bap, I think you started this. Yeah, Bap started this. So Bap and Abyss They Winning is gonna be on my channel if they cancel this show on me. We're going to have 18 episodes of
Oh,
us going back
Jesus.
and forth because y'all want these shows to be canceled because I won't have any more content until I look at Beauty in the Black or whatever it is that
He's gonna come when James watches Beauty in Black. Me and Shayna are gonna get a very colorful message to the group chat. I'm preparing you, James. I'm telling you, it's hoes, it's bad camera takes, but it's a good story. So just as Shayna says, get through your Tyler Perry trauma and lean into the storyline.
okay, I'll do that. Bab said, well, in that case, we could take another season of Simone.
Hollering.
Oh God, y'all are killing me. Oh, they ain't canceled it, at least not yet. I know they not. I know they're not canceled. A bitch they went in is safe, and so is bad. Y'all are safe. Y'all are safe. But I'm telling y'all, the moment they start canceling, y'all better not ignore my emails. That's all I'm saying. But anyways, y'all, we're gonna move on. So they're confronting Quad about, the fact that T and Gregory were there, and they want to know if there is a chance that the four of them could coexist. And Quad said, not interested. Not interested, not happening, not interested. And they were like, well, King, Greg was accountable, and I feel like King needed to be accountable as well. And Quad said, what does he need to be accountable for? He didn't do anything. And I said, Quad, your mouth is moving faster than your mind right now. He had a part in it, just as well as your ex-husband had the part in it, and you play the biggest part in it because you're the reason for both of them being in this situation in the first damn place. So I'm gonna need you to take a seat back and see when Toya was like, I don't want to be in a position to where I have to choose you or them. And she goes, well, then drop me. And I would have said, okay, fine. You made that decision easy for me. You dropped. You can exit the way you entered. Because I don't like when my friends give me that type of energy. Because what that means is you don't care enough about me to see it from my point of view. Production is making me invite them and want you in the same space. I'm caught in a corner here. So what you want me to do is what I wish. But Toya can't break the fourth wall like Portia be doing on Real Housewives of Atlanta. So I get why she didn't do that. But at the end of the day, we're all on this show together, and you know how production is. So you can at least reason with us. We're not saying y'all have to interact, but if he's willing to drop the charges, then y'all can coexist for us to get this money. Come on now, it's not that hard. I wouldn't want to look at my ex either that I used to have to go to jail with. You used to have to go to jail with somebody a bitch that went, or is that for Quad? I was confused reading that. Quad was on the defensive and completely shut down because they asked her the ridiculous question of whether she can make up with the turtle and his wife.
That's the thing that Quad has been telling them season after season, reunion after reunion.
Yeah.
She says she did not feel supported by these women in her divorce, not just when she was actively going through it, but she said that she felt like they've always pressured her about Greg not being able to be in the group, and so have the men. So now we come to this question, and we know that the question is being asked because of production.
Yes.
However, comma, Quad it seems to be looking at the like, regardless of what production wants, why would anybody want to be around their ex, especially an ex that seems to trigger her so much? I work in mental health, and my professional opinion is something happened when she admitted to some physical things happening between her and Dr. G. But she definitely reacts like someone who's gone through some sort of trauma with this person. They keep asking her about it. It's even foul of production. But then I also feel like Quad, if it's that big of a deal and so important to you, then just leave the show and let them fucking sink filming Greg and Sweet Tea. Like she
That's
could
my
also
point.
do that.
That's my point. That is my point right there. If this is such a trigger for you, then you need to leave the show. and let the show fall where it may. Because they're going to do one of two things: it's either going to be successful or it's going to sink. They tried to ice you out one time and it almost sunk. So who's to say it won't happen again? But you got to be willing to take that chance. I don't think Quad is ready to let this check go, and I don't blame her. I wouldn't want to let my check go either.
I wouldn't waste my money either, but then at the same time, how many times do these people have to show you that they do not want you there? The only reason they are siding with her now is because they dislike Sweet Tea more than they do her. And Dr. G gets on their nerves enough. They were reminded by him coming back that they would rather just deal with her. But it's not a genuine like or care. I think the only one that genuinely likes or cares for Quad to any capacity is Heavenly, oddly. But the rest of them, I don't think they really care too much. So I wish that Quad would just be done with this show and move on. Go live her best life. Maybe take a break from reality TV. Go to Africa with Yandy and your partners and live your life. Because if Dr. G and Sweet Tea are on this show, I'm sorry, Sweet Tea is not interesting enough to make fetch happen. She's just not going to do it. She's not. And then Dr. G is annoying. He looks like a Ninja Turtle with a voice that has not cracked yet. So Quad needs to go so that they can see that they needed her.
Here, this is where I'm gonna get you a this day winning because she didn't do that for because she really cares for Quad. Heavenly was trying to make a spark happen on the show so she doesn't have to show up as hard as she does. That's why she did what she did. That's why she did this. Heavenly knew that this was going to cause controversy. What she didn't count on was Quad delaying herself from signing her contract because Quad felt she deserved more money. She thought Quad was a sure in, and she did the same way she did with Apollo and Phaedra. It was the exact same tactic, and it worked because we saw Phaedra get out of character, and we saw what really goes on in behind closed doors between them two. They're not really over their situation. But this is the tactic that Heavenly does to get them ratings. And of course, producers are going to co sign it because it's brilliant. It really is. When you really think about what Heavenly brought to the table, it really is brilliant to have a cast member have her ex husband and his new wife on the show as main cast members to see how she would crack under pressure. And now, is that a good friend? Hell no. Me and Mrs. Best would be at each other's throats if she did that to me. But at the same time, I get the logic, and I think Quad does too, which is why she played along with it. But now it's starting to get to a point because now she's in love, and it's messing with her love life. Him being in the predicaments he's being in because he feels like he has to defend her against her ex-husband. So it just went out of whack. But Heavenly knew what she was doing. Yeah. Nobody cares about nobody on this show. They only care about their coin. Exactly, because money makes the world go around. These ladies are not the only two friends I really think that are real friends in real life are Simone and Jackie, Jackie and Heavenly, and Toya may be an intermingle of all of them. But none of them are really friends outside the show outside of that. None of them. I never see any of them. I never see Heavenly and Quad outside of filming. I see Heavenly and Jackie outside of filming a lot. I do. I see Jackie and Simone sometimes outside of filming. But yeah, Contessa doesn't come around the group as much. She don't hang out with the girls. She hang out with Toya and Sweet Tea every now and then. So yeah, I don't see them. They saw that they needed her when they got Blackout for Icy Girl last season. Exactly. Because it wasn't justified. It just wasn't. The show will go on though just when they got rid of Mariah. I don't feel like Mariah was that big of a staple. I really don't. I think people made Mariah that big of a staple. I really don't think she was that big of a staple. I don't. I think her and Heavenly is really what made her really a staple. Quad is probably the only one of them who can walk away and be successful on another platform. Maybe Contessa. Yeah, I can agree with that. Heavenly isn't bad. It's not all bad. Quad didn't have a storyline at the time, so it helped her. It did. Exactly, it did. Because Quad wasn't trying to talk about that baby that she allegedly adopted last season. She wasn't trying to talk about her niece. She wasn't going to talk about her brother who had passed, rest his soul. She wasn't trying to talk about none of that. So it's like, well, what else can we do with her? We need her on the show because she's theatrical. So what else can we do? But that's pretty much it, y'all. I ain't trying to go into rabbit holes, which I've pretty much been doing this entire life. But is there anything else you want to add to this? Because this was actually better than this whole episode, really.
No, I'm looking forward to the reunion. I want to know why the beaver rebels.
She does this every reunion.
But I want to know what things she's concocted in her mind that
I
made
know,
her
but I
want
want to
to.
have a discussion about that. I do. Shayna, I'm about to DM you. So be open because I want to do another live this week. So I'm about to DM you in a minute. Because I want to talk about that. I can't talk about it here because I gotta go. But I want to talk about that because I feel like they're doing this as a strategy because they were fine a few weeks ago when they were on live together. So I want to know what happened.
Hmm.
I want to know what happened. So yeah, I feel like this is a tactic. I feel like what we're seeing is a tactic. I feel like there's nothing wrong here. But we'll talk about that more. I'm going to create a live surrounding that pretty soon here with Mrs. Best and hopefully Shana underscore MCD like we did with Love and Marriage Huntsville, where we do a prediction of what we think is going on. And I'm going to bring that up again so we can see what you guys. Did y'all see Watch on the Live that Toya said that T pushed him physically? That was interesting. Push too physically. I don't watch you guys. I don't watch what happens live because I'm not. I feel like Andy don't be asking the right questions, and I feel like the people who they select to ask the questions don't never ask the right shit. So I'm gonna stay on for a few minutes back. Who did Sweet Tea push? Because I want to know now. Because I don't watch it because I don't want to pull it up on.
I wouldn't be surprised though. Sweet Tea seems unhinged.
She do.
She needs to get her anger in order. I'd like to say, as someone born in the same year as her, we don't all act this way. That's all.
Oh, okay. Was that at the reunion she pushed him? Because now I'm curious. Yeah, I guess she gonna be one of them ones that I'm just like, I can just give or take her. But that's about it. That's all that really happened on this episode, y'all. This was the season finale. Next Sunday will be the first part reunion. This is a 3-part reunion. I'm gonna try to get a video together with me, Mrs. Best, and okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get a video going with me, Mrs. Best, and Shana underscore MCD. We can give our predictions before the reunion hits to see if any one of us is right. The next video that will be my next video. We will be on Mrs. Best channel tomorrow for Love and Hip Hop Miami, which I'm about to watch here in a second. So make sure you guys catch us on that channel. Hopefully the episode isn't terrible, but if it is, we'll be going in nonetheless. I love you guys. I will see you guys soon. Thank you, Mrs. Best, for being here. Thank you guys all in the chat, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.